Kampala city sprouts with over 1.5 million people every day. Everyone looking for a living. Some working tirelessly under the scorching sun for the daily bread. When you observe what is going on from a distance, everything seems to be going on well. But look closer. Massive robberies in broad daylight happen every second. And before you know it, you have lost your valuable asset in a blink. The Mini Price Junction is one of the busiest places in downtown Kampala, with many people either going to the old park or transiting to the new park. Since it is at the center of several arcades, many people also turn up to buy a range of merchandise. This congestion makes this area one of the operation zones for smart and bold thieves who stop at nothing to get whatever you may be carrying. They usually dressed casually smart, camouflaging as just any person going on with their business. You could barely miss them as street vendors, taxi touts, or pedestrians until you observe carefully. What betrays them is the manner of their operation. They don't seem to be going anywhere, but keep moving around the area of operation until when they secure a target. The racket is divided into 3 teams. The operation team, which does the actual stealing, led by this bold thief. We will call him Bold. Then there is a team of intelligence. These men keep watching out for the thieves in case they are arrested, and they move in as a rescue team. We will call them the intelligence team. Then there are messengers who communicate between the intelligence team and the operation team. Their strength is in teamwork and coordination. You can easily follow this coordination at the peak of their operation, which starts from as early as 12 p.m. until 8 p.m. in the night. First, they isolate a target. Often these are people carrying backpacks, women with handbags, students, or anyone they find susceptible. Victim number 1 is this woman carrying a backpack. The top thief, Bold, then approaches her from behind, opens a handbag, and then removes a spray. But there must be more to steal, as Bold returns to check what is left. He then takes out a lotion, quickly hiding it, and then moves on. What better way to freshen up in the heat of the day than using the spray that he had just stolen? Bold also takes a closer look at the lotion that he has stolen and then proceeds to victim number 2. She's also female, going about her business. She is such a simple target, and Bold makes no mistake of sparing her. Nothing to steal away from her bag. Bold then makes another move on another female pedestrian. He opens her bag, and again, nothing interesting to take away. Victim number 4 is a man. Bold approaches him and then does what he knows best. Opens the bag, and again, not a very good catch for him. Victim 5 was lucky to sense that someone was opening her bag. Unapologetic, Bold moves on and eyes another target. I spent 5 hours observing Bold's moves and tactics. He is brave, fast, and pretends as though he's on phone all the time. While I still keep my eyes on Bold, then comes this amateur thief. We will call him Baby Thief. He must be one of the new recruits. He tries his luck, but he gets nothing. He's not as fast and brave as Bold. He appears timid as he approaches his target. He fails on several tries. But this woman was his lucky target. He follows her as she stops to buy some items, gets closer, and makes his first attempt. No luck. He then moves a distance and makes a comeback. The best he manages to pull out was a pen. Then he launches again, and not so lucky. All that was in the bag were books. He then moves on, frustrated. For more than 7 hours, I observe how these thieves operate. What surprises me though is that this happens right next to a police post located near the old taxi park. As I look around, I also notice that there are CCTV cameras installed around the area, which makes me think that the police must be aware about these thieves. As I ponder about this, I witnessed an arrest that was made by people who caught a thief stealing from a student. He was taken to the police and detained. For now, I cannot go to the police post to question anything, as I fear that I would distract my investigations. While I observe these thieves, I want to know what happens to these items that have been stolen. How are they shared? Where do they sell them? With many questions unanswered, there is only one way to find out: by placing a bait. It should be easy to steal and attractive. We opt for a decoder since it's portable. We then put it in a backpack, including a charger, a remote, and other accessories. We then wait until when it's 5 p.m, when it is also peak time, and everyone is struggling to get a taxi back home. It is also a peak moment for the thieves. I make my first attempt with my cameraman on standby to capture any move by the thieves. For an hour, we moved around, and no one seemed to be interested. Well, it's yet another day and our bait has not worked. However, we've noticed some people who stand on the streets doing nothing, just waiting for people to fall in their trap. Look at those 3 or 4 gentlemen standing on that, that's a green car there. They are looking out for anyone they can rob. And as you can see, they're doing nothing but just standing and waiting for that opportune moment to be able to rob someone. Now, earlier on, we also saw them pointing at us. Perhaps that's why they have not been very active. I returned to downtown the next day, but this time at another hotspot for thieves. I pick information that these thieves and criminal gangs have operation zones, and there is a gentleman's agreement between them, which sometimes may turn violent when one group invades the other's territory. Kwalisel Junction is another operation area for another criminal gang. Like their counterparts at the Mini Price Junction, the boys here also open up bags and snatch phones. This junction is located downtown between the new taxi park, St. Kudembe Market, and Namirembe Road. Immediately I engaged the businessmen and women who work on this floor of the building to describe the state of affairs here. The first narrative is one of a man who preferred to remain anonymous for purposes of his security. He tells me that stealing on this street has become a norm.
These days, on the streets, they're off. The vendors, the street vendors, they're off. And always hunger. Operation is abakulu balinamu amadala abafulira babagulu paka wansi eriyo abaziga nabatonya ku bosi ne basindika abakozi.
He also narrates the tricks these criminals use.
These thieves here baba ne olusi dividers ba campuses obekwanso otambula naye ng'ogikutte mu ngalo oba omukono nga weerabisa ekikwaso kyennyini akiteekawo nga bwalantu atambula fredi omukono ogiwuba omukono oguzza emabega nga waliwo ekikwaso kyebakutezeewo ng'ogukoonako olw'okuba nti kafumise oba divide oba kampasi eri oba kiyita na gyabakutezeewo ekikwaso kiba kikufumise so tokutte kigwa wansi naye ate bo tebakikkiriza kugwa nti okutaawa nsebera yataddewo either akaviira oba engalo.
He then tells me that even though the criminals are arrested and taken to the police post on Namirembe Road, they are often released.
Naye bw'omuteeka ku poliisi oba tonnamutuusaayo ng'akugamba nti gwe nga tonnatuuka onkwatidde I will be just behind you. Ate nga bwe kiba nti oba tonnatuukalo wamukwatidde ng'omuleseyo mu kapoliisi abakubako ku mugongo.
While I speak with my source, he makes a revealing narrative of a criminal gang which operates around the area, nicknamed B13. He tells me that they often steal phones and use the Nachivobo channel to escape. His narrative gives me another lead, the Nachivobo channel, and the group codenamed B13. The only way to find out more about this group is by going down the trenches. I start my investigations into this group by talking to the vendors who operate around this area. I meet William Mukasa, a vendor who has been operating on this street for 5 years. Over the years, he has witnessed several robberies and theft cases. As I listen to Mukasa's narrative, I am thinking of how I can dare to go to those trenches to know what happens in there. When I talk to him about my intentions, he warns me against this move. I, however, decide to dare the trenches. But as I approach the deadly territory, I meet Razorblade, a longtime friend whom I had met when he was 10 years old. He is a ghetto kid who has grown up on the streets. His passion has been music, and this has not changed even though he has turned 16.
Rapa banji nyonganze kunsi munga inache yaba matenze na chimpa mukano bagambe bajempola bajenga teba papa kubaleza ndinyo apa kire mujensi ngo musajja fugo rubiro rwepatikano rusangi bwe Roma gwe bayita papa bwe gaba makomeraze bansibiramu apa asubiro kumbo ngo bubisubira yo kuchapa.
He tells me that this is his territory and I should not be worried about anything. In order to build trust and a relationship with Razorblade and other members of the B13, I have to act like them. When the ghetto child asks me to sing along, I don't have many choices.
Kati ulya muzei wange nga bwe malayo oddamu emizutaga oshege mukuva mu kyalo mbatonze nze keya weka ba mu bato be Uganda nze keya ina plan Uganda jiwanikira fula nali wapoto mu bato be Uganda nze keya lyanywera mu ja se Uganda na Uganda kota tibana mwanga mu lyengere je kunyobuga zigizag kireza kyogera nyo cyandi zigizag cyandi bakinywa nenjaga
He then asks me to join him in the trenches, which he calls home. Fear sets in and I hold back, leaving him to proceed alone. He then comes back to pick me, and this time, there is no turning back, even though I'm aware I am in a dangerous territory. Before we could start on the tour of the trenches, we hear gunshots. Our attention is shifted to what is going on in the area. We are notified that the notorious criminal gang members of the Chifesi crew were hired as court bailiffs to break into a community hall after court ruled that the hall belonged to the community and not the person who was operating it. We rush to the scene and we find a group of fierce youth struggling to break the doors of the community hall. After several trials, they managed to break the doors and this attracted the men in uniform. More bullets are fired and several people arrested, although it required reinforcement from other police officers. When the scuffle settles, I get back to Razorblade, who tells me about the operation of the B13 gang. First, he denies allegations that his group B13 is involved in different robberies and theft incidents.
Esawa zino nyinza okubuulira mazima meerere genkubuulira esawa zino nyinza okugamba nti n'abasajja bonna abatambula abali mu kuvaawo waki babbi kizibu nnyo okuŋŋamba nti awo awantu ojja kujja ogambe nti babiddewo omuntu oba kikiri bwe kiti omubbi asobola okuva emitiiyana najja n'akolera wano omuki omuzannyo kuba awulira nti amawulire gafuluma nti awo we bakola ki we babbira.
But while I speak to Razorblade, many of his colleagues join in and surround me. They finally speak out on why they're involved in stealing and robberies. They narrate that Kampala Capital City Authority has largely contributed to their behavior.
ngende nzire yumva mafuta kuba kati nja kubezensa solo nyumba sirina nja kubazira solo nyumba sirina gani nagenda kupambana yumba mafuta bichupa ndabe musajja alina baga musowole baga nze mpete kyekiba kirina okubaawo ezera kinenya muntu abba
sinza kunenya muntu gogobye ku street ng'abadde akola mu butuufu n'atandika okukola mu buyaayi ku lwaki nzo obonemeseza ki wendira akabwa we kaliira buli lucha kakola kalina okuddawo okyegera kati bwe mba sikyaliira ku street kuno mba nino engeri gy'okukola newe omutwe numpeezange kuba oba ozirina.
As I speak with this gang, I pick another link of another notorious group known as Lost City. Interested to know about this group, I ask Razorblade to take me to their territory. He, however, warns that they are a very dangerous gang. As we approach the Lost City, Razorblade warns me against talking about robbing or stealing. At this point, we are also surrounded by the gang members, Our savior is Razorblade, who is the darling to many of these gangs. The option then becomes shooting a video for one of his songs. This is the only way we are accepted to enter this dangerous territory. First, I ask about what the gang members felt about Razorblade's talent.
akubaluga flow biti yaya ni abayimbi wana Uganda
Then another scene of Razorblade's songs.
I'm filming
And eventually I get to business. I ask the team about the allegations that they're behind the rampant theft and robberies in the city.
Tade kukuba ntunde neyengo omuntu solo kulakula nanganzi kategwe kesi owa kanso okutte oluntu te byange obitutte nange kenyini osibye katoluvayo mbanyina kolati kenyina okola nyina kubba kufuna biri biwatwala kuba sina ngenda bijja walala kuba sina dolata n'okutandika kamusazi wansa unaawula bamu ya bisala bisanyo n'abanga asobola okukola ki n'addamu amagezi agenda mu wino n'asuubula era abiyiwa wali ebintu naye kale ate waaba yakayiwawo ne bamukubajja ekipakaluzira bw'aveeruzira era abakati omusubira kuddamu byonna buli kimu kiba kisaanyeewo abaddamu era okubagoba ku makubo abamu kibaviirako okuddamu kuddamu.
According to their narrative, many of them have been arrested by police and released later after being on remand for months.
Oyinza kusiba muntu n'omuteeka luzira jambe n'obitwala emaali ye ate kati olumuttaba olukomawo mbanyina kola.
Earlier, I was informed that this is the criminal gang that operates on Entebbe Road, especially around Clock Tower during peak time, snatching people's phones. As we talk, the appetite for marijuana sets in, and everyone grabs a smoke, which according to them is relaxing. They also spend their leisure time in gambling among themselves. So I watch closely how they play. What was odd to me was the amount of money that they use in gambling. 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. With many questions running through my mind, I pause to wonder where these Lost City gang members who do not work get money. Throughout my time with the Lost City gang members, many of them kept mentioning the Chifesi crew as the team responsible for stealing phones on Entebbe Road. After spending the day with this gang, it is time for me to leave and let the gang smoke themselves away. I now head to Entebbe Road, particularly at the Clock Tower, where many victims have fallen prey to these criminal gangs. Several cases have been reported of stolen phones, laptops, car lights, and side mirrors. My mission is to look out for any of such activities tonight, and whether I can find any members of the Lost City gang on the streets. But as my cameraman starts off the shoot, we are stopped by police officers who ask about what we are filming in the night. He orders us to leave, although we move to another location. Tonight, we are unfortunate. My hunt then turns to the notorious Chifesi crew, who are feared to be the most dangerous criminal gang in Kampala. After meeting a source during the day who was supposed to lead us to the team of the Chifesi crew, he gave us an idea and an appointment to meet him at 10 p.m. Now it's about a few minutes to 10 p.m. and we're on the road going to Machinji at the particular location that he said we should meet. We expect to talk to some of the people who do these operations, the team that is feared to be Kampala's most dangerous crew. The instructions are clear. Do not call me. I will call you. I wait until midnight and my patience runs out.
I think we've been waiting from about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. It's now coming to 11:30 and we are burning out. We've not seen any of, even the person who made appointment with us hasn't turned up. So we've not gotten any person to speak to from this. We have however been told that we need to wait until 1 o'clock and it's quite a test. But as of now,
I however decide to wait until 3 a.m. in the morning, hoping that the members of the Chifesi crew could turn up. At this time, I am exhausted and I could barely wait. As I tried to call the numbers that they had earlier used to reach me, all of them were off. At 4 a.m., I retreat. Perhaps tomorrow will be a better day. I then make contact with another source who tells me to meet him in Katwe. But as I drive past Clock Tower on Entebbe Road, my attention is captured by a group of people screaming. It is a thief, also suspected to be part of the Chifesi crew, who has been arrested for stealing brake lights of a car which was stuck in jam. He is taken to a police post next to the Clock Tower junction. And later taken to the Kampala Central Police Station, where he will be held until when he's taken to court. I then return on the road to Katwe for my appointment with a very key source, one of the members of the Chifesi crew. This is Katwe, a Kampala suburb, also known to be one of the operation zones for the Chifesi crew. According to police, over 300 members of the Chifesi criminal gang have been arrested for stealing, deadly robberies, and murders. The Chifesi crew is also known to be the biggest criminal gang in Kampala. This is Katwe, one of the suburbs in the capital, Kampala, and we are in particularly Lufula zone, which is believed to be one of the operation zones for the Chifesi crew. Now we have an opportunity to speak to one of the members of the Chifesi crew to tell us about the operation. This is such a golden opportunity because it has taken us weeks of convincing him to speak with us. The Chifesi criminal gang is based in Katwe-Chinyolo zone and controls the largest criminal operational zone in the city, covering Nkuruma Road, Clock Tower, Conrad Plaza, Entebbe Road Traffic Light Spot, Kamu Kamu Plaza, the stretch from Mukwano Arcade to ShopRite, and Nachivumo Muse. As I wait for my appointment with my source, who also happens to be one of the gang leaders, I asked the people living in Katwe if they know about the Chifesi crew. My first two contacts are well aware about this notorious criminal gang and their operation.
Kuba abantu kwata kubajjako busimu sawa za kawungezi no kumakyawo bava muno awo Katwe kinyola awo wonna Katwe kinyola awo era omuleebwe n'emisana bakunyagirawo awo bakunyagirawo.
They also disclosed that they know the members of the Chifesi crew and they have reported to police about the matter.
Bani Bachifesi
wenyini kutoto amasasi nakuga tuwakaita unakulumuka sina kubiri eguro limu bakabakubawo babiri bade banyakula masimu ngakutawo wali bade bajje baduka katinga wano babategera awe chemmanga.
They however feel that the police have failed to manage the gang.
Babata nibakomawo atoga nti babata ekyo tukirinako obukakafu.
I finally meet one of the members of the Chifesi criminal gang. We will call him Max. His face is a true reflection of the name of his gang, Chifesi. It is rugged. Before he could speak to us, he asks to carry out his routine training, which include jabs and press-ups. We then sit and talk about his operation.
Sobola okugwako nga weesudde n'enkulonda kitegeera nze mbasagala ne weesuula era tano wenkugwako sawa zange era obugenda kumpa kitegeera mba njagala n'ompeerawo saagala kuddawo okukola ki tuukirawo nakumpeerawo.
His time of operation starts at about 5 p.m. He does not take a no for an answer.
Gamba tano leta ku sente wesudia mbangenda kupepeta pepeta nekukuba namu nende akavako nendani.
However, not all days turn out good.
Olunaku kale nga womanye ennaku waliwo erukeera nga luli ape waliwo olukeera ng'olina dunoonya ng'omusirikale ebintu by'e Kampala era obimanyi byakwefaako oba teweefuddeeko tewali wakufaako tegeera ate obulamu obumanyi naawe byetwagala bingi tegeera.
What surprises me is that he even says a prayer to God to bless him with a good harvest.
Manyi Katonda yagaba asobola okuŋŋamba oyo yennyini oyo ekiba nga kiba.
He then tells me about the Chifesi crew and how they operate.
Majeni baana kitegeera nga womanyi wabeerawo mu bitundu abaana bakyewaggula kitegeera abanoonya obulamu abaagala obulamu obulungi kitegeera waba Chifesi bantu bakwagala bulamu businga kitegeera tayagala kubeerawo nga njala emuluma etya.
Max, however, says that it is the lack of jobs that push them to do what they do.
Sina mirimu kitegeera nesinga mba ndina jobu yange wembeesinga ate lwaki mba ntambula kitegeera ekintambuza mba nnoonya kituufu.
In a shocking narrative, he tells me that sometimes they connive with the police, especially when they are arrested.
Ate era nsobola okubonga nabo nembugamba muzeeyi mulyemu akawani nsooke newenje ngenda kumala mbalabe mulyemu akawani kitegeera ate wali akawani nembeera wali nga mbalaba bulabi mba nkafunye nenja nemuwa mugamba muzeeyi anti kyamaakyo kati awo ebyekindiga nga wobimanyize nsobola okubamu n'akabiri kange nsobola okubamu nefiti oba omuda nawe obeera nga oli musirikale wakisima nenkuwa omuda n'ogamba yampaddeyo omuda kitegeera.
He however says that he wants to stop this vice.
Efe emirundi gye tusibiddwa 5 tweddako kitegeera lwakuba obulamu bukyaganye buganyi kukola ki kutereera naye nga kitegeera bulaza nze ndi firimu statano nzizanya nze ndi muzanyi wa firimu sebo siyinza kunnyonnyola nti eno kuba nnyingi okitegeera nze natuuka n'okuvaamu amanyi lwa firimu kitegeera kikome naawo omwana.
He also reveals that many of his colleagues have been arrested and kept at Katwe police station awaiting court. Some of his gang members are also on remand in Luzira prison. In order to understand their operations, I head to Katwe police station. Here, I meet two of the gang members who were arrested last night when they tried to break into a supermarket. Unlucky for them, they were arrested by the local people who beat them up until police rescued them. I asked them about their operation that went bad. One of them confirms the intelligence that I had received earlier, that they operate mostly on Entebbe Road.
Era misinde kwa nkusanga n'ekintu kyo nenkukuwa oba nekikunyakulako nenjikujjako nenziruka tukwesagundira mikono lwakuba nti kale olina nga wakolamu.
They then sell the phones to buyers.
Ayobera babaya omukubira essimu nakusanga then akubira price. Yeah.
Babaya musinkana wa obamanyi babaya?
Babaya manyiko omu
bamuyitani
Sharifu
akolerawo
kupaawo naye tutaberawo nyine nga kupa abeerawo talika n'essaawa nga zali kitundu nnya.
Once the phone is stolen, the two advise the victims not to chase after the gang.
Era oyinza osanga oli ng'ayagala ekintu kye bambi oba nga yakikolerera naye nga gwe essaawa eyo kyekirina okukutaasa sikasini kivako n'omukuba bambi naye nga ayise mu bulumi okukikolerera ayise mu bulamu okukifuna ate n'okukita nayita mu bulumi ebintu ng'ebyo ezisikiza ezirimu
omuntu.
For now, the two return to the cells awaiting court for charges of theft and robbery. I then joined the police on their afternoon operation around Katwe area, which is a routine for them. The security team led by OCCID Katwe Police Station Benon Ayebare take me through the dangerous zones including Katwe Chinyolo, Nabisaru Zone, St. Benedicto, Nsua, Nkere, Kanakulia Zone, Waswa Zone, among others.
The face, I must say, is like an organized criminal gang of youth between 15 and 21 years. But how they are formed up, what is their ideology is entirely thuggery. There's nothing good out of them.
Mr. Yebare then narrates about how they have managed to arrest the members of this gang.
During the daytime, at times we've always arrested them around here, where we find them smoking opium, gathered around, idling. So we arrest them. Others have been able to identify some of those criminals that are wanted.
Since the Chifesi criminal gang is greatly feared, the community members are always afraid of reporting the gang members to the police. For more than 2 years, Ayebare has been hunting down members of this notorious crew. He well understands how deadly they are and the tactics they use when stealing.
They hurt, they harm, there is nothing they cannot do. What is important is the resistance of the victim. is what they are trying, I think, to overcome. And by all crooks, others use what they call kabadia. They can hold you using their arm, because they do a lot of physical exercises. So others will hold you until you will surrender what you have. Others will use, depending on what you found them armed with. When they are not armed, they use their physical fitness to make sure that they hurt you. So you cannot underestimate what they will do to a victim.
Even though they have made significant strides in clearing the Chifesi crew gang, they are often challenged.
You see, those whom we refer to as juveniles are below 17 years and below, and they are the most people we are having now in crime. But when we take them to remand home, there is a challenge. The facility is not enough, and I think the management is also not doing better to help us. Because the moment they go there, the next is to see them back. They have escaped from there.
Their biggest challenge is the lack of evidence to try the culprits, especially since the witnesses fear to testify against them. While I leave Katwe area, I am convinced that the police officers work tirelessly to keep the criminal gang in check. But as more are arrested, many more are recruited to join the gang and take their place, which makes it a vicious cycle of crime that will take more than just arrest to get rid of the problem. Solomon Serwanja, NBS Investigates.